Hey guys, and welcome back to the Still Respawn devlog series. So this is devlog 7, and today I'm taking you through the first steps in Unity's junior programming course. And this week's mission is building a driving simulator prototype, and yeah, it sounds quite cool. So we start very simple, just creating a new folder called Create with Code, launching Unity, and firing out the project using the Universal 3D template. And once we're inside, we import the starter files from the tutorial and open up scene 1 for prototype 1. And right away, I'm learning the basic layout of the Unity editor, scene view, game view, project window. It's not really new anymore because, we just finished one tutorial already. And then we add a vehicle into the scene and learn how to navigate around it. I thought choosing a tank would look pretty cool. So holding right click and flying around with the WASD key and focus on objects with F, these camera controls saved me a lot in the previous tutorials. Once the vehicle's in, we drag in an obstacle and position it ahead 25 units. We name both objects and the scene setup's done. And we had to make sure we deleted the sample scene as well to make sure it's clean. And if you don't, Unity always catches you out with that one. So then we had to reposition the camera behind the car, angle it just right, and then tweak the Unity editor layout to make sure our workspace is more efficient. If I'm honest with you, the normal layout is quite poor. So this one, which has been suggested, actually makes a lot of sense. So I think this will be the one I use going forward. And to make sure I can just pick it up where I left off, I saved it as my layout, so I can just choose that layout for going forward. It's a little thing, but having a clean layout really helped me stay focused. And now we're getting to the good stuff, coding. So in the previous tutorials, we learned all about Unity editor, how to move things so that makes things bigger. But this is what we're into now, coding. So I created my first script called player controller and attached it to the vehicle. And then I added a comment for the update method, and I wrote a line that actually makes the car move using transform.translate. The issue is this makes the car go way too fast. So then I added in a new line which is Time.deltaTime to smooth things out. Basically this Time.deltaTime makes your movement smooth and consistent by adjusting to match how fast each frame is running. So things move at the same frame no matter your FPS or no matter how good your computer is or how bad it is. It's a small line of code, but it feels massive to write and have it work instantly. The car's moving, I want to make it crash into stuff. So I added Rigidbody components to both the vehicle and the obstacle, and I adjusted the mass to be something they would in real life. So basically I added one was 1 kg. So we put the tank to 1500, and then the barriers are something smaller. And there's actual physics now. So the objects are colliding and everything feels a lot more like a game. So then I started duplicating obstacles down the road using Control and D, laying them to give the player some challenge. And this part was fun. Just felt like laying down traps. Alright, the next step is the camera. And right now it's fixed in place. So I had to create a new script called follow player. And I declared a public game object player and assigned that to the car, so it knew who to follow. In the update method, I told the camera to match the player's position, added an offset so it sits nicely behind and just above the car. And then I made that offset into a variable so I can tweak it later easily. And then to reduce the jittering, because as I was moving down the line, it seemed to jitter around a bit. I moved from update to late update, which makes everything smoother when following the vehicle. Basically, using late update makes the camera follow smoother because it updates after the player is moved, which keeps the camera in perfect sync. It's these small touches that start to make it feel like a real game. I then changed the Playmode Tint, and this adds a slight color overlay to the entire editor while you're in play mode. And why does that matter? Because it stops you from accidentally making changes while the game is running, and then losing those changes when you hit stop. And we've all been there. I have during this tutorials. And now you can instantly tell when you're in play mode. And honestly, it's a small tweak that saves a lot of time and frustration. And that wraps it up for this devlog. I've now got a working scene with a vehicle that moves and crashes into stuff and a camera that follows the action. So this is a real good basis. And it's the first time I've actually written a code for movement and camera control without just copying and pasting from a tutorial. Next time, I'll be adding player input so I can steer the car on the scene. If you're enjoying the series, please drop a like, maybe a comment, or just tell me what you hit first, obstacles or speed boosts. Thanks. Catch you in the next one.